I'm Aaron. So many things to talk about today, but I'm more excited about Rumble Friday because here's what Rumble Friday is from now on. It's Canteen Day. Yes. You know, if I had a brain in my head after today's show, I would head on over to the county and I would spend, a night or two in jail. And I would start knocking away at that 8 days, which, you keep hearing, like, it is amazing. You hear about jail terms, and they start at 15, and then you're like, 15, that sucks. And then your attorney tells you it's 8. Like, oh, okay, 8. I can do 8. And then you hear from another person, like, oh, no, the way time is served and the way they count it is it's not by hours, it's by days. So if you go Friday to Sunday, 3 days, and you're like, so I technically do like 5 days. They're like, yeah. And look, I'll believe it when I see it. But then again, like, I only spent an hour or two after that Gino Keanu violation thing, and they counted that as a day. So, and I was there for like an hour. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. But if I was smart, I would just go ahead and start that now. Thing is, we don't have the schedule yet. Like, we had to, you put forth a schedule, and then they okay the schedule, and then you get started. So, like, I don't know. But it's, I know people wanted me to be, and a lot of the criminal justice system is like trying to beat you down and break you down. Look, had a little up, got to pay for it. I got another 40 years to live. 8 days ain't going to kill me. We'll get it done, and then life goes on. I'm kind of waiting for this moment where I feel this existential dread, and it's just not coming. Like, everything just feels incredibly manageable. There's something about not being that person anymore. There's something about, kind of exercising that part of you. And you're like, you almost feel like you're paying a debt for somebody else. You're like, I vouched for this guy. I got to take on his debt, whatever. Like, it's, in terms of like the actual like sentence and everything, it doesn't feel personal. And I don't expect anybody to understand this. I don't expect anybody to get this. I understand the internet wants blood and everything else, and so they're not going to get this approach. But as you know, I've always been a real world guy. I've always been kind of a misfit on the internet, which I think is a good thing. Like, it doesn't feel personal. So I don't know. We'll see. But look, if I were smart after the show today, I'd go in there for a couple of reasons. Number one, to start knocking down some days. But number two, because then we could call Rumble Friday Canteen Friday. And I could be raising a couple bucks so I could grab some Starburst and a soda, Pay for some phone calls, spend some time on the phone, kill a little time. That's what I heard from Red in Shawshank. He said prison's about finding ways to, keep your mind occupied. I also found out that if I do the weekend thing, there's a lot of shit you just don't get to do. Like, it's basically being detained the way I was when I first went in for arraignment. Like, it's more like that, which is remarkably boring. I'll come out jacked, though. Don't worry. Come out jacked. Oh, yeah, Nova's one of the guys that he's mad that I'm not feeling different. No, Nova, you misunderstood. That's not what the complaint's going to be. The complaint is about something not related to the case directly. No, it's something else. It's very corrupt. But I got to wait a little bit on that one. Anyway, Nova's very mad at me because I smile. Nova's one of these guys who, if I don't call him God, he's very parasocial, but I like him in a weird way. I like Nova, but he's got deep troubling mental issues. When I found out that he's older than me and he gets this much into these podcasts, I'm like, oh no. That's when I kind of decided Ugh. But Nova's one of those guys who like wants me to be upset, wants me to be sad, wants me to be mad. And when I'm not, he's like, no, you're coping. You're upset. Like he needs to convince himself that I feel differently than how I do. It's Nova. I will tell you this, buddy. And you like to use this phrase. I'm always right. You just get a little too close, bud. You believe everything you hear. And it's, unless it's me, you have a weird thing with me. You'll be okay, buddy. And then somebody in the chat writes that Jesse P.S. did a whole episode on Misfit Patriot. So now I'm freaking the out. Like, I don't worry about 8 days in jail, but I worry about Jesse P.S. finding out that I talked about a guy that apparently he did a whole show on. So now I'm worried that I'm ripping off Pot Awful again. I remember when we found that Mr. Burgers guy, or Spurgers, or whatever his name was. I didn't know that Jesse P.S. had covered him, but Jesse got whipped up into a frenzy. Steel toe guy, he's ripping off Mr. Burgers. I hate steel toe, blah, blah, blah. And I think he kind of cooled down after a while because he realized that he was getting a little crazy on the Mr. Spurgers thing. I had no idea. I saw Jesse P.S. as he with like Mersh and Red Bar. But apparently I angered Mr. Powell Stroud over talking about Mr. Spurgers. And once we finally get over that and it can just go back to making fun of me and him and everybody else again, now all of a sudden I'm talking about this Misfit Patriot guy. Somebody in my chat goes, oh my God, Pod Awful did a whole show on him. Oh, great. Well, you know what? I was out of coleslaw anyway. So this all kind of works out. Oh, MSO wants to know why no show last night. So October, I did mention this a couple of times, and I mentioned it on the morning show yesterday that I would be back today. So the way my kids' sports schedule is going, for September, I had to adjust the evening show schedule and go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's for my son's football, which ends this coming Monday. Next Thursday, my daughter starts volleyball. So I've got football Monday night. My son's got a game. And then volleyball Thursday night. And it will be Thursday night for the next couple of months. So we're going to go back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But obviously with my son having football next week, Monday is going to be off. So we'll have Tuesday, Wednesday next week. And then it'll be back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the evening shows. I'm sorry. I apologize. But my responsibilities as a parent take priority over our evening show schedule. So I do have to with the evening show schedule again. I can't even promise it's going to be the last time I with the evening show schedule, but that's why there was no show last night. If we do end up doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, my plan is to do the members only show right after I get home. And then you guys can do a whole Q&A and we'll do the whole thing. I'm imagining that those members only shows and then also the subsequent Monday morning shows, those will just be a treat to do. Just an absolute treat. I'm sure none of those references will be coming in hot and heavy. Speaking of Matt Poster, I don't know if you heard, Matt got married. Congratulations to Matt Poster and Grinch Girl. I'm sorry. Grinch Girl and Matt Grinch Girl. He took her last name. I thought that was cute. They got married. He posted a picture of like them off in the woods. And I was like, this is either an announcement that they eloped or that he murdered her and left her in a swamp. And honestly, either one of the two I was fine with because both of them give you good stories, you know? Oh, speaking of shitty journalists, Will Herron, who's basically acting as a hired gun, a hitman, Will Herron tried to do an article about my sentencing day. And aside from getting most of it wrong and leaving out a lot, you'd think a journalist would get quotes right. Will can't help but clown himself. Will put in the title. First of all, he works in a no market in Louisiana. And he's reporting on a person who's been far more successful in media than them. Which I get, you need me. But you would think you would get the quote right. I said, all praise be to Jesus Christ, and may God have mercy on my soul. Will Heron actually wrote in the article that I said, Jesus Christ, the main God, have mercy on my soul. Will is the most alcoholic, drunken retard I've ever seen be on the internet. It's like he had people all over Twitter trying to correct him, and I don't think he appreciated that very much. So I don't know. That sounds like a Will Heron word. Bafflemus. I don't know what bafflemus is, but I'm sure if you run it through the drunk Creole dictionary down there in the bayou, we'll be able. He's probably got some toothless friends that can figure it out. Let's go to Papa Shab says his brain is mush. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Will, you probably shouldn't pick on Will because, like, not only the whole brain is mush thing, but, like, he just really needs friends badly that he doesn't care if they're real or not or what they're using him for. It's just, he's a sad guy. Papa Shab says, not going to lie, clowning on you is fun, but he is legitimately kind of touched. Right. And getting those big donkey teeth that he has and the drinking problem, it doesn't help the mental retardation because some people, how do you explain Will? Some people, when they stop drinking, they stop being a retard. The problem with Will is that even if he stops drinking, the retardation is innate. He's not going to get smarter or better. This is the best he can do. Aaron said, main God. And they're like, Will, do you think maybe you heard wrong and you're just dumb? No. Yes. Oh, MSO calling him won't Aaron. See, again, don't you feel bad a little bit talking like that? You don't feel a little bad? You're going to cause a lot of bafflemus. And we're not here to spread bafflemus.